win a national championship.
It's not really.
That win a national championship. That win a national championship.
It's not really like walking around, hey, I'm the defending national champion. More so walking around like, hey, we got something to prove this year.
To play one of those seasons of 16 games, I mean, you have to be able to bring it week in and week out. People who are in the program know when they sign up to be a Buckeye.
The last time a Big Ten team went back-to-back was 1964, so it would definitely mean a lot.
People are down in this team. We got so much to prove this year. We got a lot of guys that are excited about it.
The first projected college football bracket of 2025 would see 3 Big Ten teams inside the field of 12. Ohio State and Indiana would get byes. Oregon would have to play a first-round matchup. USC, Iowa, Michigan, Washington, the 4 teams on the right side of your screen, they are ranked inside the CFP top 25. Certainly part of the conversation to be a part of that 12-team field. Big reason why Ohio State is there. Their embarrassment of riches at the receiver position. In 2022, Marvelous Marv and Emeka Ibuka combined for more than 1,570 yards and 18 touchdowns through 8 games. In 2020, it was Olave and Garrett Wilson. This year, it is Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith with 17 combined touchdowns through 8 games and nearly 1,500 yards. And don't forget, this is better than any combination that included guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yes, Smith gets most of the ink, but Carnell Tate has 10 catches of 30 or more yards this season. That is the most in the Big Ten. His head coach, Ryan Day, stopped by for a pregame chat with Brooke Fletcher a bit earlier on Saturday.
Coach, with this team playing at such a high level, what's that next step you're challenging them with right now?
Well, it's mostly about consistency. Like at this point of the year, like can you consistently do it week in and week out, you know, regardless of our opponent? You know, we always, you'll hear me say this before, like it's about us, and a lot of coaches say that. But at this point of the season, it's like, all right, a lot of people can talk about it. Who's going to be different and actually do it? And so we had a good week of practice, and so we got to get going, have some energy early in the game.
You mentioned it's about the team, but Julian Sands having a Heisman-type season here. What do you still want to see from him just to show he's continuing to elevate his game?
Well, more of what he's done, but just, you know, over and over again, you know, seeing, you know, the protection obviously is the first part of it, and then trusting his feet, taking care of the ball. I think that's the thing that, you know, now all of a sudden it's Heisman this, Heisman that, everything that comes with it, and it's like, all right, let's just get the snap, let's get the protection right, let's take care of the football, and the big plays will come.
Purdue's offense, they've taken great strides on the ground over the last few weeks. What's most important for your front just to control that part of the game today?
Yeah, I think they've gotten better as the season's gone on. I thought they played well last week, so you know, we have to stop the run as always, but we got to do a good job containing the quarterback. I feel like he's made a lot of off-schedule plays, and you know, got to avoid X plays, tackle well, and then obviously establish the run on offense.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, take care.
Thank you, Coach.
Ryan Day won a national title last year, but Jerry, you could probably make the argument he's done a better job because his job has been harder this year, bringing in 2 first-time play callers, at least first-time play callers at Ohio State.
Yeah, Rick, Ryan Day hasn't done a good job with staff. He's done a great job with staff. I mean, Brian Hartline has been at Ohio State for a while. He was the offensive coordinator a couple years ago. Now he's the play caller. He's learned from Ryan. He learned from Chip Kelly. So we're really solid on the offensive side. There's Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia, when Jim Knowles left, everybody threw their arms up. You know, what are we going to do now? He had a great reputation. Matt Patricia's done nothing but make the staff better and the defensive better. They lost Justin Fry, offensive line coach, to Arizona. Now, with the unlimited amount of coaches you're allowed to have, they're actually having 3 offensive line coaches. There's a lead coach, but the staff is as good a staff as there is. And I guarantee you this, Rick, we'll be talking about the change of staff next year, too, because whether you win or lose, you're going to have a staff change.
Yeah, obviously unselfish as well to have 3 guys sharing the offensive line. Can't be a lot of egos in that coach's room. Whether you want to talk ego or talent, ability, athleticism, Arvell Reese has it all in spades. A projected future #1 pick, perhaps, in the NFL draft. It is time for the final countdown. Jerry, there's a stat out there that says the Buckeyes will play a game and a half to 2 fewer games than anybody else if you relate them to number of plays called over the course of the season.
Right. They're averaging 61 plays. They're ranked 131 in the number of plays. It's an extraordinary stat. We'll keep following. See what happens.
It also shows you just how efficient they've been to score the number of points they have scored with that few number of plays. Time for talk is done. Time for the game has arrived. It's Ohio State Purdue, and it comes your way now.
The following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
The world's largest drum lives here in West Lafayette. Will the Purdue Boilermakers be banging on the drum all day, or will the #1 Ohio State Buckeyes, led by Ryan Day, seize their opportunity? We don't get the chance to see the #1 team on the Big Ten Network very much. We get that opportunity right now. In sports, history remembers two things: the days filled with glory and the moments that defied logic.
Touchdown, Boilermakers! It's Rondale Moore!
Today, will the undisputed top-ranked Buckeyes keep their memorable season on track?
Touchdown!
Or will the Scarlet and Gray be derailed by the Boilermakers, looking to once again shock the world and give Ross-Ade another game they'll never forget?
You can't believe that play!
One way or another, history repeats itself.
I can't hear anything.
Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Marathon. The Purdue Boilermakers back at home looking for their first conference victory. And they host the #1 team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes, winners of 12 straight games. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette with Jake Butt and Brooke Fletcher down in the field. Jeff Levering with you. Thanks so much for being with us this afternoon. And Jake, we get to see the #1 team in the country. Is it crazy for us to say that this team is better than the one last year that won the national championship for Ohio State?
It is. It's absolutely crazy to ask that question, but it's even crazier for me to definitively be able to say, yes, they are better than last year's team, and that's a credit to Ryan Day. What happens when you win the national title? You graduate guys onto the NFL. They had to replace both coordinators last year. That does not get done successfully without the leadership of Ryan Day. Yes, the question, who's the best coach in college football? In my opinion, it's Ryan Day. At a minimum, he's on that short list.
Well, the Buckeyes are taking the field, and there is a ton of scarlet and red, and I should say silver, inside of this stadium right now. An opportunity to see their squad take on Purdue. I'm talking about this quarterback situation for Ohio State, Jake, and they didn't know what they had in Julian Sayin. Maybe they did, but it was unproven. He's passed every single test that he has had this year with flying colors.
Absolutely, and it's because of his traits, really. He's so fundamentally sound. He's gotten better and better as the season goes on. There's 3 plays to show you a perfect example. Look at the location. This is Olympic archer level of accuracy on the back shoulder to Jeremiah Smith. Okay, that's the accuracy. Notice the feet. Quick play action. He's going to see the safety flies downhill. His feet are ready so that single high safety can't get in the action. And then how about this? This safety has 10 yards of cushion on Jeremiah Smith. You need 100 yards, if that, to try to cover him. And then look where Julian Sayin let this ball go. That is a 40, 50-yard air pass, hand-delivered package into the hands of his receiver. Julian Sayin is your Heisman frontrunner.
So many weapons on the outside for the Ohio State Buckeyes, maybe inside the numbers with Max Clare, and a homecoming for him as we go down to Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, Jeff, Max Clare described today almost like a full circle moment. Just a year ago, he was at Ohio Stadium playing for the Boilermakers, and today he's back at Ross-Ade wearing the scarlet and gray. He said last year if you were to tell him that he was going to be playing for Ohio State, he wouldn't have believed you. He transferred from Purdue late last season, or last year, and he's made his presence known in Columbus. Coach Day praised him for just his development. He said he's disciplined, he's versatile, and his best football is ahead of him. And what better way to do that than today back in his home state? He actually grew up in Guilford, Indiana, about 2.5 hours away from here. His family and friends, they're in the stands. You can see Drew there. He's a little conflicted wearing the Ohio State hat and the Purdue sweatshirt there. His brother Luke plays for the Boilermakers still, but today it could be a huge moment with a lot of Purdue's attention on Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith. Keep an eye out, Jake, for 86.
Thanks so much, Brooke. And for this Purdue Boilermakers team, they took Michigan to the brink last week in Ann Arbor. Barry Odom and his squad, one thing you can say about him, Jake, is this team has some fight. They play with grit. and they have gotten better as the season has progressed.
Absolutely, Jeff. And I think, the obvious black and white, easy to track measurable or statistic to measure team progress would be wins and losses. And obviously right now Purdue doesn't have a ton of wins, some very disappointing and challenging losses. But if you just look at the film, this team plays hard. They play inspired. It is a new team in terms of identity from last season to this. And I give a ton of credit to Coach Odom. Remember, they brought in 50+ transfers this offseason, over 80 new players. So effectively starting from scratch. And yet Barry Odom said he's pleased with the progress, still work to be done. Number one thing is he wants to see his guys play hard and physical against the Buckeyes today.
Ohio State won the toss, elected to defer, so Purdue will take the football first on offense, and they'll get a look at what is the most ferocious defense in college football, maybe the best defense that the nation has seen in the last couple of years.
Ferocious, fast, terrifying, togetherness. A lot of adjectives to describe the defense.
Really good.
Yes.
Jaden Fielding ready to kick it away. Michael Jackson is back for Purdue. And off we go from West Lafayette. The kick is through the end zone, a touchback. And we will see this Purdue offense on the field. Ryan Brown taking the field. Built to work, sponsored by UKG. Brown was outstanding last week, and he took exactly what Michigan's defense gave him.
There it is. I mean, that's the key to any young quarterback. You don't go broke taking a profit. Michigan was willing to give him those underneath 5 to 6 yard completions. I don't expect Ohio State to give it to him today, but Coach Odom told us his favorite play of practice this week was a throwaway down in the red zone. You got to protect the football against this Buckeye defense.
Malachi Thomas, the running back, he gets it on first down and goes nowhere. This defense is unbelievably good. Caden Curry was in there. Here's the offense for Purdue. They love their skill position players. Of course, they're still without their starting tight end. But up front, they have continued to be better. They have run the football exceptionally well the last few weeks.
And that's the key. It's Big Ten football play, and they like to get into RPO and play action schemes, but you got to be able to run the ball.
Brown underneath. Very short gain on the reception by Michael Jackson. And here's that defense from Ohio State. Star after star after star, but this linebacker room, they are fighting against each other in terms of awards.
Yeah, and it wasn't always the case, though. Remember, they lost all 4 of their starting defensive line to the NFL last year, so these are brand new names introducing themselves to the world. They've been playing outstanding. As you mentioned, though, Jeff, these 2 linebackers, they're competing for the Lombardi and Butkus Award, 2 of the best in the business.
3rd and long for Purdue. Brown steps up. He's going to run for it. He's got some space. Can he get to the outside? He will. First down on the rush by Ryan Brown.
Well, it's a really great job by Ryan Brown. Listen, you're not going to have a ton of time to scan and analyze the Ohio State defense, and Ohio State playing man-to-man coverage there. Ryan Brown felt that gap open up. Good job by the inside, giving him a lane to run. Gets a little stiff arm and a 1st and 10 for the Boilermakers.
Jackson did just enough on the outside to clip Lorenzo Styles. Gave Brown an extra couple. Malachi Thomas, the running back, and he'll get it on first down. Puts his head down, maybe picks up 1. 2nd down and 9 coming up for Purdue.
Well, it's really fun to study the defensive structure that Matt Patricia has installed, and you're going to see it again here. It's effectively like a 5-man front. They built a 5-man surface at the line of scrimmage, and what that does is it creates one-on-one matchups across the board. Left tackle all the way through to right tackle. They have one-on-one matchups. That's what allows the linebackers for Ohio State to be free and stuff those inside runs, as we saw once again there on first down.
Trying to pass on 2nd and 9, and the ball came out. It was right there for Nitro Tungle, just couldn't get his head around. 3rd and 9.
Got to be ready. Nitro is speedy. He's an over-the-top threat, but this is just a timing route, a little stop route, and Ryan Brown put it right where it needs to be on that outside shoulder, that outside hip, and the margin for error is razor thin each week for the Boilermakers, but especially so against Ohio State. That's a pass that needs to be completed.
Late subs coming in for Purdue. No switching on the defense for Ohio State. 3rd down and 9. They picked up the last one. Brown to pass again, looking middle. Gets rid of it behind his receiver, and Harris fell down. It's 4th down coming up for Purdue.
And this is a good job by Ryan Brown. I mean, he has his guy, and there's a ton of space, but it's about ball placement and accuracy as much as decision making. If that's on the upfield shoulder of Antonio Harris, he's going to catch and run, but because it was on his back hip, he has to turn around, spin around, and falls down, and out comes the punt team.
Jack McAllister to kick it away to Brandon Innes. Innes from the 15-yard line goes straight up the field. Innes with a seam out to the 30. And the Buckeyes offense coming out on the field at Ross-Ade. Julian Sayin will take center stage when we come back to West Lafayette. Heisman candidate Julian Sayin takes the field for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He has been amazing. Passes 40 or more yards down the field. He's only incompleted one of those. He's got 23 touchdowns on the season, only 3 picks. This offense is humming with him at quarterback.
Heisman candidate, Heisman favorite at this point. Goes from a quarterback battle in the offseason to winning the job to complete command of this offense to Heisman favorite.
Bo Jackson, the running back. Jackson gets it on 1st down, sneaks through the line. He is across. Into the open field goes Jackson. A flag is out. Jackson's on the sideline for a score at the moment. Looks like this one's coming back.
Well, if you had to nitpick the Buckeye offense, they've been looking for these explosive runs down the field. Can't scheme up a better start to the game other than the holding.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 4. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Jeremiah Smith guilty of the infraction.
Well, this is just a great job there by the left tackle, Austin Sareveld, and the 2 tight ends, Max Clare and Will Kazmarek. And got Jeremiah Smith with a block in the back to negate a explosive long touchdown. But already you can see why Ryan Day loves this young running back, Bo Jackson. Let's see. We got him for a block in the back, Jeff.
Right there.
Well, that would be a block in the back, yes.
4-on-4 penalty right there. Isaiah West is now the tailback for Ohio State after that 70-yard run turns into nothing. 1st down and 7 to pass. Sayin wide open in the flat. That's Clare for a 1st down. We talked about him in the open. First catch of the day belongs to Max Clare.
I felt this was one of the key portal additions across all of college football. And the reason why is every team knows they come in each week having to stop Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. They have to commit defensive resources. And what that means is you're going to have Max Clare oftentimes in one-on-one coverage. He is one of the best tight ends in all of college football. My opinion, the best route runner in all of college football. Waiting for that breakout game. Seems like today would be fitting against his former university.
Sayin to the outside for Smith. Smith trying to get the corner, and he's tripped up after a gain of 3. Smiley Bradford on the tackle. Here's the offensive starters for Ohio State. You know all about their skill positions, but a different right tackle today starting. Ian Moore makes his first collegiate start for the Buckeyes.
And he's an Indiana kid, born and raised, so back at his home state. Great opportunity for him.
Sayin on play action. Sayin goes down. Just the 4th sack all season of Julian Sayin. Purdue brought pressure and got home.
Yeah, and this is the challenge starting these young freshman running back. This is Isaiah West, number 32, a true freshman, and he's one-on-one. They're bringing pressure. They're sending a linebacker blitz, and this is going to be the chess match with Powell being able to close that and sack Julian Sayin. Not something you see all too often. 4th sack of the year.
And for Powell, his 4th. 3rd and long for the Buckeyes. C.J. Donaldson in it running back. Sayin all day to throw. Looks middle, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Mylan Graham. And Purdue comes up with a stop.
That time Sayin got great protection. He climbs, and they're trying to work this in dig route, and you see number 21, Taj Rael, just waiting, kind of playing that middle safety, middle robber position, and a great job. Watch him get his hands right in there on the hands of number 5, Mylan Graham, and break that one up.
Late substitution for Ohio State. Officials holding up play. The market ready. Joe McGuire, just his 16th punt attempt of the season. Angles it. Jackson calls for the fair catch, and Purdue's offense back on the field. 44-yard kick. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Marathon, official fuel of the Big Ten, and by Copilot on Windows 11. Meet the computer you can talk to. At the drum line, and Barry Odom leading his Boilermakers out onto the field at Ross-Ade Stadium. No points for either team on their opening drives. Deep into their own territories where the Boilermakers have the football for a second time. To the outside, Jackson with good blocking in front of him, hit and leveled by Downs at the 12. Oh, that's a big hit.
That's a big hit. That's what he does. I mean, great blocking on the outside. That's what gets this play loose. But the issue is here comes the boogeyman, Caleb Downs. He does not miss tackles in the open field. Not only that, he'll punish you. The sights and sounds of football, my goodness.
And last week he got called for potential targeting. It was then negated, so he's able to play in this first half. We talked about that during the week, saying he was very lucky that he did not get a targeting penalty on that particular play against Penn State. Second and short. Brown flushed out. Curry's got him. He's outside the tackle box. No flags as of now.
Christian Moore was in the area too, the tight end. Good enough.
Looked like the referee had his hand in his pocket there for a moment, but he was outside the tackle box, it appeared.
Hey, about number 92, Caden Curry. I mean, for the production he's had this year, the national buzz and attention is not aligned with the year he's having. I mean, he just continues to produce and produce and produce. He's been so steady for them as an edge rusher.
It's 6 guys on that front right now defensively. See who Matt Patricia brings on this 3rd down and 5. Brings 4. Brown looking middle. He's got a man. It's caught by his tight end Rico Walker near the 45-yard line. First down, Purdue.
This is beautiful stuff by Ryan Brown and his tight end Rico Walker. You see Ohio State sitting in single high coverage, so that zone pocket is right there in between the hash and the numbers. Rico Walker just getting vertical. Ryan Brown anticipating it and seeing it clearly. Good, accurate pass to move the chains.
Gain of 30. Harris gets the carry. Curry knocks him down, as well as Peyton Pierce. 2nd down and 8. Keys to the game, Jake, brought to you by Modelo.
Well, my key for Ohio State is to be Ohio State. You're the #1 team in college football, dominant in every which way you spin it. And then for Purdue, details, effort, execution.
Executing at a high level. Another first down on the catch by Michael Jackson.
You're exactly right. I mean, these past few plays are a good example of what Barry Odom has been emphasizing this week. It all starts with the little things. You account for all the details, you play with proper technique, and you have a chance to succeed on any given play and therefore any given game.
Last week against Michigan, Brown got the ball out very quickly, more often than not. Very accurate. Brown again releases quickly, and a completion to the outside. That's his running back, Antonio Harris.
And what you're saying there is the most important piece of this, Jeff, is getting the ball out quickly. Did it against Michigan. We know they have a ferocious defensive front. Has to do it again today against Ohio State because they have a ferocious defensive front, and saw it there. Matt Patricia likes to build these 5-man fronts. He's going to create one-on-one matchups, but the Purdue offensive line is holding up well, and Ryan Brown's getting rid of the ball on time.
Handed off to Harris. The left side is close to a first down. 3rd down and 1. A good gain. And if you're Purdue, you got nothing to lose. I mean, you're in 4-down territory, even if you don't get anything here on 3rd down and 1, right?
Absolutely.
Brown to pass, sling it to the outside. That's Tuggle, first down, Boilermakers.
But Josh Hansen, once again, he's saying, what do you mean 4th down? We're just going to get it right now. Felt last week Josh Henson, the offensive play caller for Purdue, had a great game plan and called a great game against Michigan. Even more important this week against Ohio State. So far doing a good job of just trying to attack the weak point. Where isn't Ohio State? Where aren't their numbers? That's where Purdue is going to attack.
Brown hands it off. Malachi Thomas trying to get through his offensive line, and he is stood up by Kenyatta Jackson after a gain of 1.
Take a look at Sonny Styles here. Just blow this one up from the jump. He came in as a safety, then plays linebacker last year. He's right there in the middle of your screen. Watch him, reads the pull, and then bam, just snaps back the head of Bakeen Coley, who's 6'7", 300 pounds. Sonny Styles was a safety. Last year he was a safety playing linebacker. This year he is a true linebacker, as you saw right there.
Trying to pass again. Across the middle, catch made, and brought down near a 1st down. Got it to Tuggle again. 3rd down and short after a pickup of 7. Brown and the Boilermakers moving the football in the 2nd drive. And here comes Malachi Singleton. Used a lot as a runner for Purdue.
Give him that ability, exactly, Jeff, that extra layer to the offense. He can hurt you with his legs, but right now Ryan Brown is playing outstanding. I wonder if that changes the approach going forward from Barry Odom.
Stack the line of scrimmage to the Buckeyes. Singleton's going to keep. Singleton brought down from behind. Great pursuit by Edric Houston. 4th down coming up. Loss of 1 on the play.
So this is what a lot of teams do when they pull from the backside. They leave the backside defensive end unblocked. That time it was Edric Houston, but it just doesn't matter. You see him run straight through the gap right over the right guard, Hank Purvis. And word to the wise, you might want to block Edric Houston, as that guy was a 5-star coming out of high school and moves from DN to the inside. And man, Jeff, he probably played his best game of his career last week against Penn State, starting to really hit his stride and play confident, and another good example of his potential there.
40-yard kick on 4th and 3. Porath's kick is up, and it is good. Right down the chute, and Purdue strikes first. A good drive by the Boilermakers. They turn it into 3. Right now, first 250 fans will get $20 off a Big Ten Plus annual pass. Stream nearly 2,700 more events across the Big Ten this season. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to BigTenPlus.com and make sure you enter FB20 when selecting an annual pass at checkout to take advantage of this offer. A nice long drive that started at their own 7-yard line for the Purdue Boilermakers to put 3 up on the board. Seth Turner set to kick it away for Purdue. Brandon Innes back deep. And it'll be a touchback. Just barely. Just did get inside the pylon.
It's close.
Very close. Our advanced stat, sponsored by IFS.AI. Julian saying we saw this earlier, but the numbers of his passing over 40+ yards is insane this year, Jake.
It's a statistical anomaly. I asked our research team to go back and show me the next closest. Jaden Daniels was the next closest. He was 7 of 10 in his Heisman year. A lot of guys hovered around 50%, a few more around 30%. So Julian saying having a career season.
Handed off and brought down after a very short gain. That was Bo Jackson on the run. Ian Jeffries in on the stop. Jackson, who sprung that opening play for the Buckeyes for 70 yards, got called back because of a holding penalty, and Purdue allowed just 1 first down on that drive.
Bo Jackson's just going to be so special. That's probably the #1 area that you can see a difference from last year's team to this year's team. Obviously losing Judkins and Henderson. Those are big shoes to fill, but the freshman Bo Jackson is coming into his own and starting to fill those shoes.
Sayin hands it off and brought down. CJ Nunnally jumped on his back and brought him down at the 30-yard line to pick up a 4-ish. 3rd down for Ohio State.
It's a great job by Purdue and Nunnally winning those early downs. It gives you a chance here on 3rd down, and talking to Mike Shear, the defensive coordinator for Purdue, he's going to have to feel this out. Does he want to send pressure? Sayan's been great against pressure, or does he want to sit into coverage? Right now, showing a pressure look. Don't be surprised to see him drop out of it.
3rd and 5, Sayan, and it's caught. Ennis for the first down. Going up and getting it, Brandon Ennis, his 19th catch of the year.
Yeah, really good hands here by Brandon Ennis. We talk so much about Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. Don't forget, Ennis was a 5-star. This guy was one of the best high school recruits back when he chose Ohio State. And, you know, to me, he's really starting to come along, especially on special teams. Think back to last year, you have Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka. Well, when teams tried to take those two away, Carnell Tate started to have big games. So, you know, for Ohio State trying to make another national title push, you need those 3rd and 4th options to step up.
Jackson back into running back. Jackson gets it. Coming down the line to make the tackle, Tony Grimes. Pickup of 2.
Barry Odom told us, he said he felt like this team played really hard and physical on the road against Michigan. The big question was, can they match that intensity once again against the #1 team in college football? And so far, they're doing exactly that, standing toe-to-toe with the Bucks.
Sayan to pass. Sayan. Smith is going to make the catch anyway. He got tripped up, still bobbled, made the catch. That's 2 straight weeks where Jeremiah Smith has tipped one to himself and had a completion.
Yeah, he makes the catches where if it was a video game, you would say that's cheating. That's rigged. That never happens, but that's what Jeremiah Smith does. And the special ones, they make all the easy ones, but then they make the really challenging ones look easy. That's what Jeremiah Smith does.
Jason Nickleby, our official today.
Pass interference, defense number 4. First down at the spot of the foul.
Adoree Hines, the guilty party. There's the tip and the catch.
Well, Jeff, I am our analyst, so I'm supposed to say something intelligent here. I'll just say, go ahead and just watch Jeremiah Smith. Let's all just watch him together and admire him.
That's intelligent.
Yes.
Just watch and admire.
Yes.
Ohio State in midfield. Took the penalty, gave him a first down. Jackson gets the carry, trying to get to the outside, and pursuit and tackled. Nice play by Breon Ishmael. Let's go to Ashley Adamson in Chicago for a Thrivent Studio update.
Jeff, Indiana has never won at Penn State. Trying to change that today. There's Kalon Black punching it in just before the break. Hoosiers up 10 in Happy Valley, guys.
Appreciate you, Ashley. Thanks so much. 3-0 Purdue. 1 minute to go in this first quarter.
Who would have thought that the collision course for the Big Ten Championship is Ohio State and Indiana, the 2 most dominant teams in college football.
Numbers 1 and 2 in the first CFP poll. Sayan throws it across his body. Another completion to Jeremiah Smith and a first down for the Buckeyes. Standings in the CFP. You get your Big Ten first. You got Indiana just a half a game ahead of Ohio State. You get USC victorious last night. Michigan, Oregon, Iowa, all with 1 loss.
It's the benefit of the 12-team playoff, though, is, I mean, think about how chaotic and fun this month in November is going to be with all those teams in the hunt and a number of them playing one another.
Potentially the final play of the first quarter, going deep into the end zone. Smith catch! He's down right near the goal line. Jeremiah Smith is showing up big at Ross-Ade today.
That is the end of the first quarter.
How special is Jeremiah Smith? You think about the history, the rich history of Buckeye wide receivers. And number 4, he may stand atop, if not now, but in the future. Great play from Jeremiah Smith.
Start of the second quarter, first down and goal. Ohio State, first time this season trailing at the end of the first quarter. They'd only allowed 3 points all season in the first quarter. They matched that today against Purdue. First and goal from
number
the one, and C.J. Donaldson is in.
Is now wearing jersey number 98. 65 is wearing 98 for Ohio State.
Big C.J. Donaldson, he's been their battering ram, their short yardage back, transferred in from West Virginia, collecting touchdowns with the best of them in college football, and 6'2", 232. Came into college as a tight end. I think he reported to Ohio State at like 260, so he's actually lost some weight.
Sain's going to hand it off and come up short. That was to Nate Roberts, the tight end. Second and goal.
And they're excited about Nate Roberts. Remember, we talked to Coach Day back before Grambling, thinking this guy has a chance to be one of the great tight ends to wear the scarlet and gray, but not quite able to get in there. And I'd expect now is when you go to C.J. Donaldson.
Second carry of the year for Roberts. He lines up in front of Donaldson on second and goal. Donaldson gets it. Donaldson turns those legs. He's in for the score. The 40th career touchdown for C.J. Donaldson. Buckeyes out in front.
Yeah, you saw it too, Jeff, right? He met that initial push from Purdue, but it's just the lower body strength and why he's such a dangerous and talented short yardage back, able to keep his balance, keep his feet, and then churn those legs to get into the end zone.
So some history there for Donaldson. The majority of those touchdowns coming as a Mountaineer, West Virginia. That is his 8th touchdown this year on the ground. Fielding for the point after. It's up and good, and the Buckeyes have a 7-3 lead. They answer the field goal with a touchdown. Jeremiah Smith took center stage on that drive. Tonight, see women's volleyball live on Big Ten Plus when the 9th-ranked Boilermakers take on Iowa. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on. Last night, right across the street at Mackey Arena, the #1 Purdue Boilermakers basketball team was on the floor. Now we get the #1 team in college football in Ohio State at Ross-Ade Stadium. It's the #1 kind of weekend here in West Lafayette. Fielding kicks it away, and it's through the back of the end zone for another touchback. Scoring drive sponsored by Marathon. For Ohio State, 9 plays, 75 yards. 47 of those went to Jeremiah Smith. We're talking about #1 teams here in West Lafayette this weekend. How about current #1 ranked teams in terms of Big Ten schools? You got the #1 team in volleyball. That's Nebraska. Penn State wrestling. Maryland men's soccer. And Michigan State with men's ice hockey. All #1 in the country.
Hey, baby, there is a standard here in Big Ten country. Excellence is the standard.
Thomas gets the carry. Bounces to the outside. Puts his shoulder down. A first down for the Boilermakers. Good run from Malachi Thomas.
I'm not sure what happened there. Kenyatta Jackson was pursuing from the backside. Watch number 97. It looks like he had a chance to, I don't know if, it looked like maybe he ran out of gas or something, but regardless, great run by Malachi Thomas.
Brown thought he had somebody and then throws low. He intended for Corey Smith.
Well, that was a good job by Ryan Brown because he's trying to run a little bang hitch route, and Igbinosin was squatting on that. And I think Ryan Brown was able to feel it because if he let that ball go, that was looking to be a pick 6 in the opposite direction.
Like you said in the open, maybe the best throw in practice this week for Ryan Brown was an incompletion.
Yeah, I mean, it's before you worry about winning and beating other teams, you have to avoid beating yourself, and that was a big emphasis for Ryan Brown this week.
2nd and 10. Brown looking deep on the sideline. Corey Smith, the intended receiver, and Igbinosun in on coverage.
And Igbinosun, the senior in the room, I feel like he's been in Columbus for a few years and trying to work him on a little double move, a little out and up. You see number 12, Corey Smith, look back to the quarterback, but Igbinosun not buying what Corey Smith was selling and locks him down.
Purdue 3 for 5 so far on third down. Last year, Igbinosun had so many holding calls late, pass interference calls late in the season. He's been much better this year. Brown with all day to throw. Now the pocket swells. Brown pump fake. Brown using his legs. He's short of the first down. Sonny Styles in pursuit. They're short of the 50-yard line, Jake. Fourth down coming up.
Let's see, they're talking, and there goes the punt team.
4th and 3. And here comes McAllister.
And really, I mean, that play exemplifies what makes Ohio State's defense so dangerous. Ryan Brown, he had a little pocket. He had some green grass out in front of him, and most linebackers pursuing Brown would not be able to run him down from behind. But Sonny Styles, he's not most linebackers. Great speed, was able to tackle Ryan Brown and force the punt team to come out.
Nice kick by McAllister. Innes with a fair catch at the 11-yard line. 45-yard kick. Ohio State back on offense. I don't think dynamic is a strong enough word, but these receiving duos through 8 games since the year 2000 for Ohio State. 2022, look at Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, and the numbers they put up. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, both in the NFL now, and right on their tails. Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith combined for over 1,400 yards, 17 total touchdowns. That's 1 rushing touchdown, 16 receiving touchdowns for that duo alone. Isaiah West is in the backfield for Julian Sain on first down from the 11. West breaks through, and then the knee goes down after no gain. Charles Correa on the tackle on the outside. 2nd and 10 for the Buckeyes.
It's really an impossibly high standard here in Ohio State's wide receiver room. I mean, they just, you ask every year, can they really be better? And yet they are. And got to give a ton of credit to Brian Hartline, who walked the walk as a player himself first.
Another short gain on 2nd down. Brian Hartline, who had never called plays before this year, has done an excellent job.
Yeah, and you know, Coach Day told us he's still involved, of course, in the game planning and play calling, and they built this offense together. But right now, the story is Purdue's defense, led by their play caller, Mike Shear. They are matching the intensity of one of the best offenses in college football. Chance to get off the field here on 3rd and 9.
Donaldson, the running back, on 3rd and 9 for Ohio State. Sain to pass, looks outside, and a catch is made by Bryson Rogers. Well, it's not Smith and Tate. We've seen Innes make a catch. We've seen Rogers make a catch. First down, Ohio State.
Well, it's an embarrassment of riches in Columbus, and what a beneficial. But just how great is it? Because, you know, when you're a young Buckeye wide receiver, if you're next in line, all you have to do is watch and mimic Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. And Carnell Tate, we haven't seen him yet today and was not in the game there on 3rd down.
To the outside. And brought down. Brandon Innes on the catch. You saw that shot there of Carnell Tate, no helmet on.
And not in his hand either. I thought he might have been holding the helmet. Not sure, didn't get any word on his health pregame, so something to consider, especially understand as we laid out how dynamic this duo is.
It's those 3rd and 4th options that will have to step up. And Smith has had a great day so far. 3 catches for 50 yards. Sain again back to pass. Sain running out of time, gets rid of it, and right on the sideline is Smith for a first down.
Let's just take a look and make sure he caught it there, tiptoeing down the sideline, 2 feet, because he is an NFL player that's just still in college. And good job there by Julian Sain. I think it's probably the more underrated piece of his season. His footwork in the pocket. That's the fundamental key that everything is built upon. Sain's footwork, pocket awareness, and pocket mobility unlocks everything, all the talent that has led to statistically a great season and led to him being the Heisman favorite.
6 straight completions for Sayin. To pass again. Sayin being chased. Nunnally couldn't grab him, and then Sayin runs out of bounds. Good pursuit on the backside by C.J. Nunnally. Still ahead, Damon Williams leads the Huskies into Camp Randall to face the Badgers. It's coming up today, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. So good to see Washington finally in that top 25.
Yeah. Duh. I mean, they're faulted for losing to Ohio State in a game that was far more competitive than the final score suggests, and then losing on the road to Michigan with a decimated offensive line. They're absolutely one of the best teams in college football. Top 25 for sure.
West with the carry. Big hole. West with another first down for the Buckeyes. And he's across the 50-yard line down to the Purdue 48, a pickup of 16 for Isaiah West. They're trying to get him more involved in the offense.
Yeah, and really it's all going to start with the offensive line. You see the wide receiver blocking. I believe that was Brandon Innes there taking on the safety, but a good job by those Buckeye tight ends. Bennett Christian leading the way, number 85. You get these young running backs going that are oozing talent, of course, but you got to get it going up front. Good job creating a lane for Isaiah West there.
Quick pass to the outside to Smith. Blockers in front. Smith across the 40-yard line, close to a first down. And there's Carnell Tate, wide receiver 1A for this Ohio State team. Still no helmet in hand.
I would assume that that's obviously nothing serious because he's dressed, and just without the helmet, we're working on what's going on there with Carnell Tate. But you know, when Carnell Tate's out, just throw it to Jeremiah Smith, and good things happen.
2nd down and 1. Bo Jackson, the running back. A couple of tight ends into the ball game on that side of the field. Jackson gets it, squirts through one tackle and up to the 35-yard line. Another first down for the Buckeyes.
And Jeff, you know, we talked about this too. Notice the pace of play for Ohio State. Never in a rush, in full command of this game. And you know, maybe that might be frustrating at times. You might want to see Ohio State put up more points. Hey, more plays equals more stat opportunities. But remember, the goal here for the Buckeyes is to repeat as national champions. And Ryan Day talked about the importance of getting to Indianapolis. Their pace of play in terms of snaps per game is buying them an additional 1 or 2 bye games in terms of snap per game from the other 12 team contenders.
That is an amazing stat, Jake. How fresh this team can be. Sayin looking down the middle. He's got a man. Smith caught. Touchdown. Sayin to Smith like PB&J.
These guys are just so special. Both of them Heisman candidates. Both of them making the case for one another. And watch the footwork here by Julian Sayin. He almost turns his back. Purdue is in split safety coverage, and Jeremiah Smith just runs right down the middle. And Sayin, man, his deep ball accuracy is as good as you'll find in college football. Really all accuracy, but it's especially important on those deep balls. Another hand-delivered package to the best receiver and player in college football, in Jeremiah Smith.
10th touchdown of the year for Jeremiah Smith. He's already getting close to 100 yards receiving. That's not going to show up on a 40-plus yard play, but man, was that a dart from Julian Sayin to Jeremiah Smith. A thing of beauty for the Buckeyes. Back-to-back touchdown drives for Ohio State. They're up 14-3. Good hands moment, sponsored by Allstate. Too easy for Jeremiah Smith. You might have the best hands, not just in college football. You might have some of the best hands at the next level, too.
On planet Earth, you got to go global at this point. And he's just such a strong, physically imposing figure. I've made the comp. He's LeBron James because of his size, athleticism, and his ability to change your team's outlook.
Thomas on the return, and he's near the 25-yard line. Already over 100 yards for Jeremiah Smith. Let's go downstairs. Brooke Fletcher, an update on Carnell Tate.
Guys, I'm told that it's no injury. He was a little tight during warm-ups, and so they're just being cautious, but I'm told that he could potentially go back in. I'll keep an eye out.
That's good stuff. Thank you so much. Got a smile on his face, means he's in good spirits despite not being in the ball game yet.
Will settle the nerves of the Buckeye fans at home. Wondering what's going on with our star wide receiver 1A, like you said, Jeff. Not wide receiver 2, not B, no, wide receiver 1A.
Big drive here for Purdue to come back after 14 unanswered points. Brown looking for his receiver, back shoulder throw, and a flag comes in from the backside. Igbinosun was in coverage. Tremar Harris, the intended receiver.
And Jeff, you were talking about this earlier. You know, Igbinosun, this is the one area he had to improve upon. He's constantly in good position. We've seen him all day. He's in great position
Defense,
there.
Number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Throw hit him right in the backside.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's not needed. That's the next evolution. And he's been better this year, in fairness. He has been better, but, you know, those penalties have been costly at points throughout his career.
You pick up that first down via penalty. Bottom side of your screen, the intended receiver on that last play was Tremar Harris. He's still in the ball game. Jesse Watson goes in motion. Brown looking that way. Watson unable to make the catch. Good coverage by Lorenzo Styles.
Well, we talked to offensive coordinator Josh Henson, and he said we have to take advantage. We got to take some shots when the opportunity presents itself, and that was an opportunity. Jesse Watson, you know what I would have liked to see is Ryan Brown throw that over the top. He had cleared Lorenzo Styles, and it could have been a touchdown if Ryan Brown places that out ahead of his receiver, but went to the back shoulder and unable to connect.
Brown has yet to complete a pass here in the second quarter. Was 8 of 10 in the first quarter.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Senior left guard Jalen St. John. We've seen that happen a time or two with Purdue this year.
Yeah, negated a touchdown last week against Michigan, right? Is again kind of to that theme of avoiding beating yourselves.
Behind the sticks, Brown. Moving to his left, still plenty of time. Brown throws across his body over the middle and incomplete. Jesse Watson was in the neighborhood, and boy, that could have been really dangerous going across the middle like that.
Yeah, and that's a throw that Ryan Brown has to know. You just can't make that, especially against the Buckeye defense. You never want to throw across your body, back across the middle of the field. This is when interceptions happen, and honestly, this is a big hit waiting to happen. Thankfully, everybody's healthy, but for Ryan Brown, you either throw that away or use your legs and get back into a second advantageable, but certainly don't put the ball in harm's way like he did there.
Sophomore Jalen McClain was waiting for Watson had that pass been completed. 2nd and 15. Brown keeps it, throws it up top, and it's incomplete, and here comes a flag. Devin Sanchez in coverage, never got that head around, giving Harris an opportunity to make a play.
And once again, I mean, Tremar Harris, he had Devin Sanchez beat. There was green grass out in front of him, and Ryan Brown gave him a chance. Just watch Devin Sanchez, the talented freshman here.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against each team, 1 against each team. Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 79. Pass interference. Defense, number 6. Those fouls offset. 2nd down.
So because of the offsetting penalties, wipe the first down via penalty off the board. That's left tackle Joey Tanuna. Second time on this drive they've had an ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, and Barry Odom, he told us, listen, as a leader, I cannot have a bad day. I cannot hang my head. I cannot mope around. He said he got advice from his dad on what to do. He said, fix it. But I'm sure underneath that stoic facial expression, he's disappointed in another key penalty.
Brown, incomplete now, intercepted. Jermaine Matthews on the pick. Matthews still on his feet and brought down to the 30-yard line. It was deflected by Caleb Downs, and Matthews comes away with the interception.
And it goes back to that penalty again. You know, if Purdue doesn't have a penalty, it would be 1st and 10. You could probably run the ball, but it's 2nd and long, and you're thinking maybe I got to force something downfield. And once again, especially throwing over the middle, it's when you're most at risk, particularly when Caleb Downs is there in the back end. And Caleb Downs triggers, such an instinctual player, bats the ball up. Jermaine Matthews finishes it, and Buckeyes in scoring position.
11th interception thrown by Purdue this year. 6th Ohio State pick. West in the backfield. West gets the carry, stays on his feet, is met and driven back after a pickup of 3. Alex Sanford on the tackle.
It's just the unfortunate part of trying to develop a young quarterback. Ryan Brown has done some really nice things, and he's clearly progressing, in my opinion, a guy that's taking strides. But man, one of the biggest things you can do to progress is avoiding those critical errors, and that was a critical error leading to an interception.
Hand off again to West. Met at the 25-yard line, still on his feet, churning those legs. Offensive line pushing him. It'll be 3rd and 2.
I was thinking about it, Jeff. You know, I think Ohio State could win a ton of games just airing it out with Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith and their weapons. But part of the reason you run the ball, you're going to need it at some point this season. Remember last year against Penn State, they had to close out the game on the ground. And I feel like that's a part of the magic here is Ryan Day is really working his run game, knowing at some point he's going to need it.
Ohio State now has Ethan Onianwa out at right tackle. Plunging ahead is West for the first down. I should say Donaldson for the first down. He's become their short yardage guy. He's got the touchdown run in this game. Now Donaldson picks up the first, and they're in the red zone again.
That's what makes Ohio State's offense so hard to stop. You see the Sayin stats down there in the bottom of the screen. He's 10 of 11, 145 yards, 1 touchdown now in the run game. Rarely do they go backwards. Rarely do they beat themselves. So kind of a juxtaposition here between the two programs. You know, Buckeyes, for as talented as they are, they never really beat themselves.
James Peoples checks into the game for the first time. He's the running back. Peoples gets it. Peoples across the 15-yard line. And close to the 12, they'll mark him down to the 13. So we've seen 4 different running backs in this game.
Take a look at just the gravity in the impact of Jeremiah Smith. Look at these 3 guys right here. That's one less guy in the box. That safety is so far away from the play. Now you get to run into lighter boxes just because of the gravity of Jeremiah Smith.
Smith lined up in the slot in the top of the formation. Peoples stays in the game. Sayin on play action, slips it out. Roberts falls down at the 10-yard line. First catch of his career, but could not keep his footing. He might have had 6 if he keeps his feet.
I was going to say, I mean, his first catch would have went for a touchdown. He would have been averaging 1 touchdown per catch, but not quite able to spin around and keep his feet. Got caught up by the turf monster.
The turf monster could be very, very dangerous. 3rd down and 3. Mark it at the 11. Donaldson back into running back, saying 9 for his last 9 throwing the football. Three tight ends at the top of the formation there. I can see Jake gets so excited because of the 3 tight ends
Ohio
up there.
State.
The timeout called by the Buckeyes. Jake can catch his breath. Jeremiah Smith coming into the ball game today. 55 catches, averaging just over 90 yards a game. 9 touchdowns. You can add 1 more to that already today. Caught his 10th. He's over 100 yards receiving. It's 3rd down and 3 for Ohio State. Quite the first half display for Jeremiah Smith. Again, we have not seen Carnell Tate on the field in this first half for Ohio State. Bo Jackson in at running back. A couple of tight ends on the field. Sayin hands it off. Jackson hit, stays on his feet, and he pushes forward for a Buckeye first down. Look at the power in the legs from the freshman Bo Jackson.
Yeah, he met Charles Correa, came in on a blitz and met him in the hole. Bo Jackson, 6 foot, 217 pounds, and he's got great speed and agility, great burst. But how about the power there running right through Charles Correa, the starting linebacker for Purdue?
One of the top tacklers in the country,
yeah.
Charles Correa. As Jackson heads to the sideline, Donaldson checks in, 1st and goal. Smith on the top of the screen, isolated. Sayin hands it off. Donaldson to the 5.
Ohio State just happy to hand the ball off and milk the clock down. Probably take this to the 2-minute warning. Ryan Day believes so much in his defense. Why rush? They'll just slowly suffocate you as the game goes on.
And this will be the 2-minute timeout. On this drive, 6 runs, just 1 pass, and the Buckeyes are knocking on the door. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Drink responsibly. The Ohio State locker room. Scarlet and gray. And there are a lot of Ohio State Buckeye fans at Ross-Ade this afternoon. They are at the 5-yard line, taking 7 plays to go 25 yards. Very methodical drive following the interception by Matthews.
It's methodical. I got to give credit to Purdue's defense once again, though. I mean, they're making Ohio State work for it.
Jackson, the running back. Jackson gets it. Met by Correa again this time. A very minimal gain of 2. 3rd and goal for the Buckeyes. Remember, Ohio State will get the opening kickoff of the second half, too.
Sayin came out here. They're bringing in Lincoln Kienholz. Remember that quarterback battle this offseason. One of the big pluses for Kienholz was his legs.
7 of 8 this year is Kienholz throwing the football. He's carried it 6 times for 23 yards and a touchdown. Kienholz is in, as is C.J. Donaldson in the backfield. Roberts is in the backfield as a potential fullback. Kienholz gonna run it. Kienholz is in. Touchdown Buckeyes.
Well, this is a great way to get numbers. One, you have Jeremiah Smith in the game. He's effectively being doubled, which means Purdue only has 9 in the box. Well, when your quarterback runs, that means your running back then becomes a lead blocker. So all of a sudden, down in the red zone, a game where numbers are rarely to your advantage, Ohio State was able to scheme numbers, and Kienholz gets the touchdown.
Second touchdown run of the year for Lincoln Kienholz. 3 straight touchdown drives of over 5 minutes, just milking that clock as Fielding kicks it up and through. 21-3 Ohio State. They take advantage of the turnover. Just over a minute to go. We'll be back in 30 seconds. (21-3). They took Julian Sayin out for a play. Kienholz turns it into a touchdown run. Purdue has all their timeouts and 1:12 to go in this first half. 21 unanswered so far for Ohio State. Jackson's back deep. And it will be a touchback. All right, numbers game, Jake. Count us up.
Yeah, rarely in the red zone do you get advantageous numbers, but that's a double team on Jeremiah, so there's only 9 Purdue defenders. Well, Ohio State, when Donaldson becomes the lead blocker, they then get 9. You have 5 linemen, 3 tight ends, and Donaldson as a lead blocker. You have 9 to block 9 because Jeremiah is getting double teamed. Rarely do you have advantageous or even numbers down in the red zone. But that's a great job by Hartline scheming to get even numbers, and the result is a touchdown.
We've seen Purdue's offense go to a lot of passing here recently, especially deep balls. Handed off, and Harris is smothered. Sonny Styles brought him down after a loss of 1 and a timeout used by Ohio State. Back in 30 seconds. #1 team in the country, Ohio State, up on Purdue 21-3, 3 straight touchdown drives, pair of touchdown runs, and a touchdown reception for Jeremiah Smith, who's over 100 yards through the air, and just 1 incompletion from Julian Sayin. 2nd and 11, 1 timeout left for Ohio State. Handed off again. That's Harris, wrapped up by Styles after he pushed forward for a few yards. And the
Timeout,
3rd and
Ohio
final
State.
timeout used by Ohio State. Back in 30. Halftime show sponsored by TIAA is coming up. Got Rick, Jerry, and Brock standing by on Chicago. First half analysis. Hoosiers up in Happy Valley. And a preview of the afternoon games to follow, including Washington. 3rd down and 1:01 to go in this first half. Brown steps up. Brown gets rid of it. Hit and dropped. That was Tuggle. Got hit, and that was the Sonny Styles defensive drive of the day for Ohio State. He was everywhere.
Well, yeah, and I'm just not quite sure the thought process there of throwing the ball, risking exactly that. Ohio State is out of timeouts. And let's see if this is a catch and a fumble or 1-2, no football move, incomplete. So the clock stops. But you run it, you force Ohio State to burn through their timeouts. Another run would have given them effectively no time, but now you're punting, and they have plenty of time to go down and score.
Good punt by McAllister, fair catch by Ennis. Back in 15 seconds. Ohio State's got it at the 24-yard line, Jake. 47 seconds, no timeouts. Clock stops with a first down. I mean, how aggressive do you want to be knowing you get the football out of halftime?
You want to be very aggressive because you're Ohio State and because you have Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin, and the most important thing is getting that initial first down. So for Purdue, you want to defend the sidelines, force Ohio State to throw over the middle of the field, and then try to rally and tackle, and understanding without any timeouts, it's a race against time.
Sayin to pass. Sayin going deep again. And it's incomplete. Nice coverage downfield. Hadori Hines in on the coverage on Bryson Rogers.
Right, really great coverage by Hadori Hines, a sophomore that's going to be part of the solution in the future here for Purdue. Had a big game against Michigan, a key red zone interception, and he's in great position there, able to break it up against Bryson Rogers.
I think about the other receivers that Julian Sayin has had to work with today. Jeremiah Smith has 6 receptions. Everybody else is combined for 5. Again, no Carnell Tate in the first half so far. Sayin to pass again, steps up. Throws underneath, finds Claire, and Claire steps out of bounds, picks up a first down 2 for Ohio State.
It's a great job there by Julian Sayin. I mean, you could just sit back and watch his pocket footwork, even in a 2-minute high-pressure situation, climbing the pocket, putting the ball on the upfield shoulder of Max Claire. That's what allows him to catch and run, turn upfield, move the chains, and get out of bounds.
Second catch for Claire. He's got 29 yards through the air. And Brooke Fletcher going into the half will have some questions for Ryan Day, including about Carnell Tate. Sayin to pass again. Sayin's going to run. He's got all kinds of space and tap dances his way out of bounds. Picks up another first down in the process.
You wouldn't call Julian Sayin a dual threat, but he's more than capable as a runner, as we've seen today. There's a good example. Had a nice little third down run and scramble against Penn State last week. You don't have to be a 4.4 athlete to be a dangerous runner. think Julian Sayin is starting to show that part of his game here down the stretch of the season.
With as methodical as this offense has been in these 2-minute situations where you have to operate quickly, this is a nice test for Julian Sayin.
Absolutely.
At least try and get him into field goal range. Sayin underneath. Claire again on the catch and gets out of bounds to stop the clock just short of the 50-yard line. Jaden Fielding has only attempted 1 field goal this year, by the way, that is over 40 yards, and he missed it.
And that's probably a piece of what Ryan Day is thinking too, is like, hey, we're going to need our field goal kicker at some point in the season. Let's see if we can get into field goal range. And if you're Purdue, I think you continue just playing drop coverage, forcing everything underneath and hoping that you can rally and tackle someone in bounds and burn the rest of the clock out.
2nd down and 5. Again, no timeouts for Ohio State. Peoples out of the backfield with the catch and gets out of bounds. Another 1st down and into Purdue territory.
Just Julian Sayin, it's like, what do you mean? He's a redshirt freshman. It's his 2nd year. He plays with the footwork and awareness of a 4th or 5th year senior. And he's 2-minute is just a great example. It's like a microcosm of the processing ability of your quarterback. He's done such a great job here of finding his check down on time and rhythm, delivering an accurate pass, allowing his pass catchers to get upfield, knife, get those extra yards, and then get out of bounds.
They're probably a few yards away from field goal range. Typically want to get to the 35, but for Fielding, again, just 1 attempt over 40 yards. 12 seconds to go. Sayin again to the outside. Smith got the feet in bounds. Catch. Jeremiah Smith, his 7th catch. Perfect footwork.
Yeah, once again, I mean, that's the 2nd time. He'll get 2 in because he's an NFL player that just happens to still be in college. So that's just a chemistry stop route. Sayin and Smith have probably repped that 100+ times this year. And really, actually, Tony Grimes, number 0, was in good coverage position. It just doesn't matter when Sayin is so accurate and Smith so talented.
With no timeouts, they're going to try from 49. Would be a career long for Jaden Fielding. Kick is up, and it is good. Just inside the left upright. A new career long for Jaden Fielding. And Ohio State puts points on the board. Longest kick of the year for Fielding, longest of his tenure, just inside the upright. .24 unanswered points for Ohio State. Purdue led 3-0 after the 1st quarter. Ohio State pitching a shutout in the 2nd quarter. Fielding career-long 49-yarder just moments ago. They added an extra second, so 3 seconds on the clock. Squibbit. And still on his feet is the tight end, Christian Moore. And that'll take us to halftime at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette. There's Carnell Tate with the helmet in his hand running off the field. Ohio State, Julian Sayin, just 2 incompletions. All right, downstairs, Brooke Fletcher with Ryan Day.
Coach, no Carnell Tate there in the 1st half. What can you tell us about his status, and will we see him in the 2nd half?
No, he's not going to play. We're going to hold him. Just, it was kind of a thing that, before the game, we just didn't feel comfortable putting him out there. So you won't see him in the 2nd half.
Well, it was a slow start for your offense, but what changed in order for you guys to have 24 unanswered there?
What a good half. Scored 24 in the 1st half was big, and great to get the turnover. We're 3 of 6 on 3rd downs, 78 yards rushing, 182 passing. So I mean, that's a solid 1st half. I am pleased with the way that we came out and operated in the 2-minute, and then finished it with a field goal. So that was something we need to get done. But we'll go into halftime. We start with the ball here, so we got to start in the 2nd half strong.
Thanks, Coach.
Big boys had a great 1st half. Julian Sayin, almost 200 yards through the air. Jeremiah Smith, 109 yards, including a touchdown as well. 24-3, halftime has come in West Lafayette.
I'm not saying but I'm just saying, this Julian kid is pretty good. And his target, Jeremiah Smith, he's not too shabby either. Ohio State over Purdue 24-3 at the half. See what I did there was pretty overt.
I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, not a lot of secrets there.
Saying at the end.
Welcome inside the Big Ten Live halftime presented by TIAA. Rick Pizzo, Brock Vereen, Jared DiNardo alongside. Ohio State leads 24-3. And this is why Ohio State is in a different category. They're up by 21. Their quarterback's lights out. The best player in college football is catching touchdown passes. And we still wonder if this is the best that Ohio State can be.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, and Ryan Day, I was surprised he had so much patience at halftime. I mean, I don't think he feels maybe the way he said it because he's always going to protect his team. But I'm not surprised. This is typically what happens to high-ranked teams. This is a number one team going against a team that hasn't won a conference game. And for a while, it looked like it was going to be a game. But I think it's typical of these two teams in this situation.
I tell you what, Ohio State can't run the football. It is very clear from those early series, their plan was to come in and say, we're going to run the ball. They've retooled the running back room. They have Bo Jackson starting, Isaiah West, 3.5 yards a carry. And eventually they said, okay, forget that. Let's just throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith. Now, thankfully, you have Jeremiah Smith, and you have a very accurate quarterback in Julian Sand who can place this football wherever he chooses. 3 defenders locked in on Jeremiah Smith, and it's still not enough because when you get a clean pocket and a quarterback that can place it where only his man can get it, this is what happens. Fantastic throw here. Julian, you see his eyes through the visor there. He's locked in on him. And if you give number 4 a shot, he will bring it in. But to add on to what you guys were saying, this is not the game plan. They wanted to run the football, and they can't do it.
Brock, I think this. He has not put the option in. I mean, there's not a team in the country right now that can attack an 8-man front without the option. And he's not going to put it in because Julian's safety.
Right.
You know, so he's kind of in a box, he being Ryan Day. But until they put the option in, it's going to be tough.
All this being said, on the road, outscored Purdue 24-0 in the second quarter. They're up by 3 touchdowns, and they get the ball to start the third quarter. This is not the only high Big Ten ranked team that struggled to put a lower ranked winless conference team away. Penn State still alive against Indiana. That game going into the fourth quarter. Show you highlights coming up next during the Big Ten Live football halftime.
Big Ten Live football halftime is sponsored by TIAA, official retirement partner of the Big Ten.
Second-ranked Indiana on the road at Penn State late first quarter. Indiana caps off a 3-play, 68-yard drive with Fernando Mendoza's legs. Hoosiers jump up top 7-0 early second quarter. How about the Nittany Lions answering? It's Nick Singleton from 2 yards out. We are tied up at 7. IU up 10-7 after a late second quarter Penn State fumble. Kalon Black gives Indiana the 10-point lead back, but it's 20-10, and Penn State is now inside the IU 10-yard line early fourth quarter. Welcome back inside our studio in the Big Ten Live halftime presented by TIAA. Much like you said about a high-ranked team playing against a winless conference team, Indiana struggling here to put away Penn State.
Yeah, again, this is new territory for Indiana. Right now they're in a battle against a team that hasn't had a good season, and Indiana's going to have to respond here. Got to be proud of the Penn State guys.
Have to.
They're playing very hard. Terry Smith's team has never been out of this football game, even though it is sometimes an offensive struggle for the Nittany Lions. Okay, let's transition to some games coming up later today. We have a massive showdown in Iowa City. It's Oregon and Iowa. CFP implications abound, Mr. Vereen.
TTT, test that toughness. If you want to beat Iowa, you got to be tougher. You want to beat Oregon, you got to be tougher. I don't know if there's a game that'll have a bigger ripple effect across the conference than this one.
Remember, another Big Ten team that is ranked inside the top 25. Washington has Wisconsin this afternoon next here on the Big Ten Network. Ohio State has the second half next. C.J. Donaldson helping the Bucs score 24 unanswered in the second quarter. What a start for Maryland. Terps battling on the road against Rutgers. Second offensive snap of the game for Maryland, and Malik Washington is off and running. 73 yards to the house to give the Terps an early 7-0 lead. Rutgers knocking on the door now inside the Maryland 5-yard line, trying to tie things up. Penn State has drawn closer with Indiana. Nick Singleton's second touchdown of the game. This now just a 3-point game midway through the fourth quarter in State College. Coming up later this afternoon here on the Big Ten Network, after Ohio State and Purdue are done, it'll be Washington, number 23 in the country, as the Huskies try to keep their college football playoff hopes alive, taking on Wisconsin. Jeremiah Smith having another huge afternoon. 7 first-half catches, 109 yards. Ohio State outscores Purdue 24-0 in the second quarter. Buckeyes lead it by 3 touchdowns. Back to West Lafayette after this.
Our Big Impact research takes us to Columbus, where engineering researcher Megan Mallara and head and neck cancer surgeon Kyle Van Koevering are advancing medical device development and manufacturing for improving patient care at The Ohio State University. Their team at the M4 division at the Center for Design and Manufacturing Excellence utilizes modeling software and 3D printing to transform scans into patient-specific guides that help clinicians complete complex surgeries with enhanced precision. 4 straight scoring drives to end the half for Ohio State. They're up 24-3 as we start the second half of play at Ross-Ade Stadium. Here is your drive summary. It's brought to you by American Family Insurance. And Jake, look at the last 3 drives there, all over 5 minutes, all covering a ton of yards and taking advantage of turnovers as well.
I'm going to steal a line from you there, Jeff. They're a boa constrictor. They just want to strangle you slowly. No rush. They never go beyond themselves. They're just Ohio State.
Yeah, they're the Python offense, right? He's Jake Butt. I'm Jeff Levering. Brooke Fletcher's down on the field. Julian Sayin, Jeremiah Smith. I mean, they're Heisman candidates for a reason, and they showed out in that first half.
Yeah, there's not much else to say than that. These are the best in the business. I mean, I'd say that's the best quarterback, wide receiver duo in all of college football, and they're showing up big. And I think that 2-minute drive was a great example of it, though, because there goes Purdue. They double-team Jeremiah everywhere he went on the field. But Julian Sayin is just so disciplined, so intelligent, so accurate. He was just able to bink, 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 just hit his guys with accuracy right down the field and finish the drive with a field goal, finish the half with a field goal.
There are some people that say that he is an excellent game manager, and some people think that as a criticism, but it's not.
Not at all.
He protects the football, he makes his checks when he needs to make checks, but when he goes for it, he's one of the best in college football.
Well, especially when you're Ohio State and you have such a talented defense. You know it's a long season. Why play beyond yourself? The goal is winning. Winning is a quarterback stat. And saying, for as talented and capable as he is, plays within the system.
Kick is a touchback. Let's go downstairs. Brooke Fletcher, what do you got?
I simply asked Barry Odom what his message was to his team at halftime, and he said, we can't end that first quarter winning 3-0 and then fall apart like that. He said Ryan Brown, he started the game with confidence, but he was just trying to do too much, something that he's really been working on. We talked about that in the first half. I said, how do you slow down Jeremiah Smith with Ohio State getting the ball here? He said, we can't. I mean, he said, we're going to try our best, but he's one of the best receivers in the country. But he did make a deep statement, and he said this. He goes, I do believe in the next 30 minutes, we're going to be on full display. Our impressions, our program, we're either going to fight or lay down and get ran out of here. So maybe we'll see a different Purdue team here in the second half, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Brooke. Jeremiah Smith going across the formation. Ohio State first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Get it outside to Smith. Makes the catch, keeps his feet, and it's a pickup of 5 on first down.
Well, it wasn't for a lack of fight there in the first half. I felt Purdue fought and they played hard, and really it was just a half of missed opportunities, whether it's penalties or turnovers. That's what really cost them. I felt they fought. I felt the game plan and play calling by both coordinators for Purdue was up to standard. It's just, the self-inflicted wounds, which has been the story of the Purdue season.
2nd and 5. Sayin will pass it. Finds his tight end again. Claire will pick up the first down. Another catch for Max Claire. That's his 4th. Homecoming here to Purdue. He's got his little brother on the other sideline. playing for the Boilermakers, family and friends in town from about 2 hours away from where he grew up.
You know who played Max Clare on scout team for Purdue this week? His little brother.
Really?
How about that? Yeah.
Didn't have to change the nameplate.
Nope.
And both about the same size. Impressive family right there. It's a race to the dinner table. Jackson spun down after a pickup of 9. Max Clare last year as a member of the Purdue Boilermakers. He's a guy that you've loved for a long time, Jay.
Yeah, I still believe he's one of the best tight ends in all of college football. He was the go-to guy. I mean, he was their #1 target last year. And when he transferred to Ohio State, I said, watch out, man, because teams are going to have to double team those 2 receivers on the outside, which meant Clare would be in one-on-one situations, and he's a guy that wins in one-on-one situations. Still waiting on that breakout game, though, Jeff. But you mentioned 4 catches today. It's a good start.
2nd down and 1. Sayin going deep to the sideline and incomplete. That was intended for Clare. 3rd down and 1. I'm talking to the Ohio State coaching staff, though, the offensive group. They say Max Clare has become a complete tight end.
That's the piece of it. He came to Ohio State to take his game to the next level, and the biggest thing there is the blocking on the perimeter, the blocking in the trenches. You know, to get to the next level, you want to be a complete tight end. So even though statistically not having a career year, he's gotten better as a player.
No Jeremiah Smith on this 3rd down and 1. He's on the sideline. 5 straight 3rd down conversions for the Buckeyes. Sayin hands it off, and Jackson wiggles his way across the 45-yard line for a 1st down. The power from Bo Jackson. We've seen it from Donaldson, and now Bo Jackson.
Yeah, and watch Miles Slusher, #9, coming flying downhill as a safety and meets Bo Jackson in the backfield. You know, those are the little 50-50 plays that ultimately decide these games. Slusher had a chance to bring Jackson down, force Ohio State to punt or make a decision, but Bo Jackson, the freshman, keeps his feet churning, legs going, and showing again why they're so high on the 2 true freshmen.
Smith back on the field, motions to the bottom of your screen. Sayin to pass again. Sayin steps up, gets rid of it, finds Jackson out of the backfield. It's another 1st down for Ohio State.
Oh man, they were going to Max Clare, and that might have been a touchdown. Was running a real deep post. Sayin was looking his way, and then he just slipped downfield. Almost, there was a touchdown that Ohio State hit to Jeremiah Smith against Oregon in the Rose Bowl last year. It was a very similar play, but that time they had Max Clare running the post, and he just couldn't keep his feet downfield. Otherwise, it would have been a big-time touchdown.
James Peoples checks in on offense. And Nate Roberts in front of him. Hand it to Peoples. Goes right up the gut and pushes the pile for a pickup of 5. Later tonight, Badgers and Wolverines face off in a top 10 Saturday night hockey showdown. The puck drops at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Second down and 5. This Ohio State offensive line doing a really nice job so far today. Just the 1 negative play was a sack. Just the 4th sack allowed this year by the offensive line. Sayin to throw it. In trouble. Sayin gets rid of it. It's incomplete. He has as many incompletions on this drive as he had the entire first half.
Just, 2. I know, like we almost got a replay of the incompletion. It doesn't happen all too often, but even plays like that, Jeff, just that's rare for a redshirt freshman. Understanding it's 2nd and 5, just get rid of the ball so you can get back into 3rd and manageable. This plays well beyond his years and experience. Now, Purdue has done a great job double teaming Jeremiah Smith. You see him up top here. It's Jeremiah Smith and Max Clare. And number 21, Taj Rael, is lined up with Max Clare, indicating man-to-man coverage.
3rd and 5, Sayin to throw it. Sayin across the middle. It's caught. Bryson Rogers with the reception down to the 20-yard line. 1st down Buckeyes.
Just so steady and so accurate. Julian Sayin. Gets into the gun, 1, 2, 3-step drop, hitch, hitch, bang, delivers an accurate pass right on the face mask of Bryson Rogers, who's having a really nice game here in the absence of Carnell Tate.
Ryan Day telling Brooke Fletcher going into the locker rooms at halftime, we'll not see Carnell Tate today. Something popped up in pregame. So who steps up for him? It's been Rogers, it's been Claire on the receiving end, and a false start by Brandon Innes. He was moving to the top of the line of scrimmage.
Full start, offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Just the 5th assessed penalty between the two teams today.
Take a look at the clock there, about to eclipse 10 minutes, and that would mean another 5-minute drive for Ohio State. It's so hard to beat them, but the way Ryan Day has structured their game plans, they give opponents so few opportunities.
First and 15, Peoples on the carry. Hit, and he's out of bounds. Good stick by Hershey McLaurin. 4 different ball carriers we've seen today: Donaldson, Peoples, Jackson, and West. They've all been efficient.
As the season goes on, Jeff, they're leaning more on those 2 freshmen, Isaiah West and Bo Jackson. And you know, at this point, this is what a lot of coaches say. At a certain point in the season, you're no longer a freshman. You're just part of Ohio State's offense, and that matters because you're about the halfway point of the season if they are to make another run at the national championship.
Play action. Pressure coming. They set up the screen, and it's blown up by Correa.
It's such a great job by Charles Correa, and it was a have-to-have-it moment because if he doesn't make that play, that might be a touchdown. But how about the instincts of Charles Correa? He's a sophomore, another guy that's going to be part of the solution, the future for Barry Odom. You see him, number 5, reads that all the way. Number 77, Tegra Shabola, just oversets that. Got to get that block, and it's a touchdown. But Charles Correa, great job undercutting it and bringing down the ball carrier.
3rd down and 11. They're in field goal range for Fielding, who hit from 49 earlier. Sayin to pass. Sayin across the middle again. Innes with the catch. 1st and goal, Buckeyes. Plays per game from Ohio State this year, Jake. This is a slow, methodical, suffocating type of offense, but that is going to pay dividends for these guys moving forward.
That's why I say I think Ryan Day is the best coach in college football right now because everything has a purpose. These plays per game, they have a purpose. What is that purpose? Well, if you just do the math and you multiply that out over the length of the season and compare it to the teams they're competing with for a national title, Ohio State will have played 1 or 2 fewer games, effectively building in another bye week.
Innes on the carry, and he's down to the 5-yard line. Another way of looking at that, Jake, 67 is your difference between the average pace between Ohio State and the rest of FBS.
That's much better. That's I was trying to explain it. That's a better graphic. 67 plays, and again, like that is an additional game. That is a bye week built into the structure of the season because Ryan Day has them playing with such a slow, controlled pace of play.
That defense can rest even longer on that sideline. Peoples swallowed up, brought down by Manny Powell. Loss of 2.
And that's a great point there too, Jeff. I mean, it's already one of the best defenses in college football, but they stay fresh and healthy because they're never on the field.
Picking up 3rd down after 3rd down after 3rd down, 8 straight of them for the Buckeyes offense.
Now let's watch what they do with Jeremiah Smith here. He's been double teamed. I mean, he had an explosive start, and you see him, they got him lined up in the slot. They're trying to find ways to make it preventable for Purdue to be able to double team him, but here he is in the slot, and looks like he might have a chance at one-on-one coverage.
Sayin to throw it. Sayin across his body, and it's intercepted. Nunnally got his hands on it, and it's a turnover. Just the 4th pick of the season thrown by Julian Sain, and the Boilermakers hold up.
Wow, yeah, it's just very uncharacteristic for Julian Sain. I mean, C.J. Nunnally, he's a defensive end. He drops underneath Jeremiah Smith, and he's in zone coverage. Smith, I can't say he didn't see him. He had to have seen him. Was looking Smith's way or Ennis's way, and that's not something you see too often. Pick, Purdue ball on the other side of the break.
There's the man who intercepted the pass, C.J. Nunnally. Purdue football. They haven't had the ball on offense in 51 minutes. That's an eternity. But they've got it now. Let's see if they can turn the turnover into points. Handoff goes to Harris over the right side. Let's check in with Ashley Adamson in Chicago for a Thrivent Studio update.
Jeff, Dig, we got drama in Happy Valley. The Hoosiers have had no answer for Nick Singleton. This right here is his 3rd touchdown of the day. Indiana, the #2 team in the nation, down 4, about 2 minutes to play in State College.
Oh my goodness, upset brewing in Happy Valley. Indiana trying to stay undefeated. Brown all day to throw. Finally steps up. He's going to run. And he's brought down just shy of the 35-yard line. How about the scores? The top 10 of the CFP. We got Ohio State leading, Indiana trailing by 4.
Wow.
BYU trailing, Texas Tech. That 7-8 matchup is a doozy right there between BYU and Texas Tech.
Yeah, and that's important for Oregon, too.
Oregon's got Iowa later. Nice pass. 2nd down after the reception from E.J. Horton. How important was that 1st down right there by Ryan Brown, just to move the chains and keep that defense off the field?
Yes, especially as we mentioned, it's been nearly an hour since they've had the ball real time. But it was the best thing Ryan Brown did. Matt Patricia decided to only rush 2 and had a spy. Don't force it, especially on early downs. Go use your legs and move the chains.
Harris with another carry, brought down after a very minimal gain. Caden McDonald, the guy who doesn't get a lot of pub just because he's defensive tackle, but man, has he turned into a stud.
Yeah, one of, if not the best interior run stoppers in the Big Ten. Having a great season.
3rd and short. Harris again. There's McDonald again with the stop.
Right on cue, just so big and so dominant, 330 pounds. He's having a heck of a season, lined up right over the center there as a nose, and that is a tough assignment one-on-one for any center. Watch once the ball gets snapped. Guard actually has to try to come around and reach him, and that's an even tougher job. McDonald throws him off, and 4th down, it looks like Coach Odom is keeping his offense on the field.
Might as well.
Why not? Why not?
Coming up on 4 minutes to go. It's the first time Purdue has had the football, and we're going to let this play clock bleed down and take a timeout. Give themselves an opportunity to think more about this decision. 4th down and 3 from their own 40-yard line. We'll be back in just a moment. Tomorrow, see women's hoops live on Big Ten Plus when Jelani Cambridge leads the Buckeyes into the season opener against Coppin State. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on. And not going for it here on 4th and 3, at least not showing that they'll go for it. Jack McAllister back to punt it away. Innis to receive for Ohio State.
I would have liked to see him go for it. You know, just get so few opportunities, as we've said. Got nothing to lose.
McAllister with a good kick to Innis. Secures it at the 15-yard line, and we'll see this methodical offense for Ohio State. Back on the field next. Are you fan enough? It's sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a pepper thing. It's not bad form. A lot of scarlet and gray in the stadium today. Ohio State, #1 team of the country, and they have suffocated this Purdue defense much like they have done all season long against their opponents. And they've got the football at the 15-yard line. They've possessed the ball, Jake, for 27.5 minutes. Purdue's had it for 13.5. They're doing it all year long as Isaiah West lines up as the tailback. He gets it, goes left side. and hammered and brought down across the 20-yard line. Miles Slusher, the stop. Pickup of 8. Second down and 2. Julian Sayin, 230 yards through the air. His main target, Jeremiah Smith. 8 catches for 114 and a score. Sayin pressured, hits his tight end out of bounds. That's Nate Roberts. Here's Jeremiah Smith's day, Jake.
Listen, Jeff, every child that's born has that thought. They ask a question, what am I going to be when I grow up? What impact will I make on the world? Well, when Jeremiah Smith was born, it was destiny. It was written. He was always going to be a wide receiver, and he goes to Ohio State with arguably the richest wide receiver development in all of college football history, and yet he might stand atop of them all as the best Buckeye in history. And effectively, Jeff, he's already an NFL player. He just happens to be a sophomore in college.
It could have been last year, too. West runs into the defense, and a flag comes out on the near side of the field. Check the penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 83. 10-yard penalty.
Nate Roberts with the infraction.
Yep, and there he is on the backside. It all starts with your footwork. Didn't have a great first step, and that's what allowed number 91, C.J. Nunnally, to come up inside. Nate Roberts with a handful of jersey and a penalty, something, again, that we've highlighted. Ohio State rarely beats themselves. Rarely do they go backwards, but those 1st and 10 holding penalties are really problematic, and it forces you to kind of be in an uphill battle. And once again, I just want to highlight the job that Mike Shear, the defensive coordinator for Purdue, has done. They have bottled up Jeremiah Smith outside of that first quarter. He's been double teamed everywhere on the field.
Sayin looking for an outlet. Finds Smith. Slips a tackle trying to get to the outside. He's pushed out of bounds. Well, the effect of Jeremiah Smith essentially doesn't have his 1A, and Carnell Tate, who has not played all day long, too. Exactly. That allows you to double Jeremiah Smith.
Exactly. I mean, talking to Mike Shear yesterday, he's like, yeah, we got to double team them. And, I have the thought, how can you double? You can't double team both. You can't commit 4 defenders to 2 players, leaving 7 for the other Buckeye weapons. But without Carnell Tate, you absolutely can double team Jeremiah Smith. And even that being said, Bryson Rogers is having a good game. Brandon Ennis, Max Clare, the other guys have stepped up.
Second down and 20. Sayin, deep ball, finds Smith, and he's got a first down. Just plucked it out of the sky and brings it in for a gain of 23.
And for a guy of his size at 6'3", 223, watch him sell vertical right here like he's running the go ball. That bang, drop his weight, just putting his foot right in the ground, and just a large catch radius going up there and plucking it right out of the air. His hands just steal the ball from the atmosphere. Julian Sayin, I mean, never a doubt when you're caught in zone coverage and you can't double team him, that's where the ball is going to go to number 4. Great execution from Sayin to Smith.
137 yards through the air, 10 catches for Jeremiah Smith. Handed off, that's West. Another big gain on first down through the ground, and a rugby scrum pushes it into Purdue territory.
Jeff, watch this. This is such a great job by the Buckeye offensive line. Watch them collect this pressure. There goes Purdue sending double A-gap linebacker plugs, but the O-line is ready for it. They're stepping in unison, and what I mean by collecting with the pressure, normally you have double teams at the line of scrimmage. They got the D tackle to the linebacker, but when the linebackers blitz like that, you call off the double team, and it's on those guys to collect them at the line of scrimmage. So the Buckeyes did exactly that. The wall was formed, parts like the Red Sea, and a nice little chunk run there to move the chains.
Sayin again, looks across, got his man Mylan Graham inside the 30-yard line.
All right, watch the feet of Julian Sayin here, coming off of play action. You run the ball. Okay, now you're going to get into play action. Watch how quickly he gets his feet set. 1, 2, 3, bang, hitch, and the ball is out. Right on time, right on the numbers of Mylan Graham, number 5. I mean, again, Julian Sayin, for the year he's having, you can bring it all back to the fundamentals. The feet are what unlocks all of the other talent.
And the balance, too. 30 passes, 30 runs. And the third quarter comes to an end. Purdue's had the football once in the quarter. Next Saturday, Heisman contender Fernando Mendoza leads second-ranked Indiana against Wisconsin. The excitement kicks off at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. We may be there. They are in a tussle, to say the least, at Happy Valley at the moment. This one controlled by the Ohio State offense, up 24-3 as we start the fourth quarter at Ross-Ade Stadium. First down and 10 for Julian Sayin in this Ohio State boa constrictor python offense. West on the carry. West breaks through. West inside the 15-yard line. First down and 10 for the Buckeyes.
Watch these polars. This is a bread and butter play for them, the gap schemes. Watch the polars coming around. That's going to be the key to get Isaiah West up through. It's actually the right guard and the right tackle. That time, Ian Moore getting the start for Phillip Daniels and leading the way for Isaiah West. Really nice job blocking up front by your right guard and right tackle, Tegra Shabola, number 77.
Both 6'6". Shabola at 322, Moore at 315. It's a lot of tonnage leading the way. Sayin, play action. Sayin to pass, end zone, incomplete. Was looking Claire's way, too tall for Max Claire.
They're trying to get the ball to Max Claire. That time it's Sayin normally is early and anticipates these. He's just a little late with his feet, and that ball sailed on him and would have been a touchdown for Claire because he was open.
Second down and 10. Sayin nearing that 300-yard mark through the air today.
Ohio State 8 of 10 third down conversions so far today. Got a good job of avoiding third and long, so second and long is critical.
Handed off to West. West got hit by Powell and stopped his progress. Third and long, Jake.
Yeah, great job by Manny Powell. And these linebackers, whether it's Charles Correa or Manny Powell, they're the heartbeat of the Purdue defense, and they're the example of guys that Barry Odom wants everyone on the roster to exemplify and follow after. And as we said, that play was critical because now 3rd and 10 down here in the red zone. It's much easier to double team Jeremiah Smith, much harder to move the ball for the Buckeyes.
Like Brooks said, Barry Odom talking about his team in the second half. You're going to see one or the other. They're either going to fold or they're going to show what kind of guts they got. They've had some really good defensive stops in this second half. Sayin has the snap. Sayin in trouble, and down he goes. Coming up with a sack is Ishmael.
That was a nice job by Breon Ishmael, just winning, and he's an Ohio guy from Cincinnati. This game means a ton to him, coming up on that little defensive line game, starting on the right side, coming up and under and around, working in those inside gaps and giving Julian Sayin, just cutting off every angle. There was nowhere for Sayin to go. And a great job by Ishmael there getting the sack.
Fielding from 45 yards. Was good from 49 earlier in the game. Kick is up and it is through. 2 for 2 for Jaden Fielding today. 27-3 Ohio State. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by DirecTV and by Google. No matter what question comes next, just ask Google. Well, just another wide receiver clinic from Jeremiah Smith. 10 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown. Another drive that was longer than 5 minutes for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They have 4 scoring drives of over 5 minutes. Purdue's defense bent and didn't break, allowed 3. Still have only had the football for 13 minutes, the Purdue offense. Another touchback, and we'll see if that Purdue offense can stay on the field for a little while. Ryan Brown will be back with that offense when we come back. Jake, we're like Oprah. You get an award. You get an award.
That's
Ohio State.
It's exactly what this season feels like, Jeff. I mean, Lombardi, Butkus for Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. We asked Matt Patricia, are they just going to cut the awards in half and give half to one another? Caden Curry up for the Lombardi Award. Caleb Downs, no surprise. Jim Thorpe Award. Yeah, not to mention Sayin for the Heisman, Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith for the Biletnikoff. It goes back to how we opened the game. Is this team better than last year's? Well, the award kind of show that maybe so.
Nate Benosin in the coverage, knocks it away from Nitro Tuggles. 2nd down and 10. And this is where this defense can really pin their ears back and start having some fun. Ohio State trailed 3-0 after the first quarter, and they have allowed virtually nothing since. A grand total of 129 yards of offense for Purdue.
Goes back to that 4th down decision, you know, the drive prior. I mean, the way Ohio State plays, it forces you. They should have went for it because you just don't get many opportunities.
Harris on the run up to the 30-yard line. Check in Ashley Adamson in Chicago. Thriving Studio update.
Oh boy, never say die for the Hoosiers. Down 4 under a minute. Fernando Mendoza to Omar Cooper Jr. Toe tap perfection. It keeps a perfect season alive. Indiana survives, and it's their first win ever at Beaver Stadium. I don't know if Gus Johnson will ever recover, gentlemen.
Gus in full display out in Happy Valley. Thank you, Ashley. Big win for the Hoosiers. 3rd down and 5 for Purdue. Brown back to pass. He steps up across the middle and incomplete. Coverage by McClain.
It's certainly not an easy catch for Nitro Tuggle, but a catch you're going to have to make to try to compete with the Buckeyes.
Updated CFP standings of what they've been doing today. Everybody winning with the exception of that 8-7 matchup between BYU and Texas Tech. Texas Tech took down the Cougars of BYU. McAllister kicks it away. He's had a good day in the punting game. Innes. Full head of steam, shaken, bacon, brought down at the 35-yard line. More Ohio State offense. You got it. It's coming up next. (27-3). Ohio State, #1 in the country, asserting themselves on offense, outgaining Purdue since the end of the first quarter, 306-49.
That's good, I would say.
And that's without Carnell Tate available today. That time of possession, that's the story of the game right there.
Expect a heavy dose of the run game here down the stretch once again, yeah?
I would think you're correct, sir.
They've been about 50-50 of run pass, though. I mean, talk about balance.
Sayin to pass. Sayin goes to the sideline. Nice catch made by Max Clare. First down Ohio State. Down to Brooke Fletcher and the Heisman hopefuls for Ohio State.
Yeah, well, both Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin are firmly in the Heisman conversation, and their play today shows exactly why. But in a true display of selflessness, instead of promoting themselves, they posted each other's Heisman campaign posts on Instagram stories. You can see right here, just showing, hey, the awards are great, but for these guys, it's not about me. It's about us.
Pure selflessness from Ohio State. You saw the defensive awards that these guys are up for. You got plenty of offensive firepower to go along with it. And Jake, your Heisman hopefuls for this year.
Yeah, well, it's probably running through the Big Ten right now. Julian Sayin having a Heisman-type season. He just keeps putting up big stats, big numbers. Fernando Mendoza, Heisman moment, leading his team back, winning at Penn State on the road. Of course, Alabama, their quarterback Ty Simpson having quite the year. And Marcel Reed, the A&M quarterback, doing it with his legs and through the air. Obviously, you know, Heisman at this point, it's a quarterback award and it's a team award as much as it is anything else. You got to win games and put up stats.
Jackson on the carry on 1st and 10, left side, first down and more for Bo Jackson.
Beautiful job there on the left side of the offensive line. Once again, can't say enough things about Austin Sareveld, Luke Montgomery, number 51, having a good season. But just to go back to what Brooke Fletcher was talking about there, this is what, and I give Ryan Day, you have to credit Ryan Day. This team is full of like 5-star future NFL players. They'd be justified to have an ego, and yet they play with such selflessness, and they love one another, and they play with hunger and focus, and that's a reflection of their head coach. That's culture and why they've had so much success this year.
Jackson again on the carry, same exact play, same exact result as Jackson lowers the shoulder on Rael.
Wow. Man, but how about Bo Jackson, man? He's an early enrollee. He was injured, missed the second half of his senior year in high school, enrolls in January, takes January, February, March, spring ball to start to work back to be fully healthy. There was so much buzz and excitement about what he could be for the future. And each week you could just see this young freshman taking stride and stride and stride. There's a rich history of talented Buckeye running backs. He might be the next in line.
Picks up the blitz there. Go across the middle, catch made. That's Jelani Thurman on the reception. Pickup of 6, and Sands over 300 yards through the air.
Jelani Thurman is another, this is a deep, maybe the deepest tight end room in the history of Ohio State. And Jelani Thurman is a physically imposing figure at 6'6", 250, 260 pounds. And he's just been hard for him to get on the field because of how many talented tight ends there are on the roster. But make no mistake, Jeff, I mean, he is a dynamic weapon.
You got 5 guys in that tight end room that all see the field. Roberts is in now. Handoff, Peoples. Lowers the shoulder, gets inside the 10-yard line, and they will give him the first down. It's 1st and goal for Ohio State.
I was at I was part of the Big Ten camp tour this year, and I as I'm watching it, Mylan Graham's in the game, and this is what I was thinking about. I'm watching Jeremiah Smith go up against Devin Sanchez. So the future gets a chance to go up against the present. Mylan Graham matched up against Caleb Downs, and I just thought about the Alabama teams. That's how you form a dynasty. You recruit talented players that are young, and you throw them immediately into the fire against the vets, and it forces them to adapt and grow.
Peoples up the gut, down to the 5-yard line. And in today's world of college football, keeping a young player with all the extra stuff that's going on, and having to wait your turn for an opportunity, that doesn't happen often.
Right, it's a great point. I mean, I look at Ohio State's next group of wide receivers, so Mylan Graham, Quincy Porter. We've even seen, you can make the case for Bryson Rogers, throw him in there. Like those guys, those 3 wide receivers would be top half talent in the Big Ten, and yet it's the second unit for the Buckeyes. But to your point, Jeff, Ryan Day has created a culture that says, hey, you guys want to stay here and be a part of something special.
Handoff, Donaldson weaving his way through. Donaldson, did he get in? No, mark him just short. He was spinning and needed one more half a turn. It'll be 3rd and goal.
That was a great job. I think it was, let's see, it's number 58, Ishmael, fighting, straining, pushing, never quite got there. Number 15, Vanaz Cobb, the freshman, he comes in and helps out.
3rd and goal for the Buckeyes. Roberts, dot in the eye. Handoff, Donaldson walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes. For Donaldson, his 2nd of the afternoon.
I think you said it. It's a boa constrictor. I mean, make no mistake about it. This is the #1 team in the country, extremely talented, and yet it's just an avalanche, a slow-building avalanche, where they strangle you and beat you up physically, and they do it through the air with Jeremiah Smith and these weapons. And you look up at the end of the game and you see the time of possession, the yardage difference, all the key statistics, and it's another Saturday of dominance for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
34 unanswered points for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Donaldson finds the end zone for a 2nd time. Later tonight, don't miss Saturday night hockey. Badgers and Wolverines face off. Top 10 showdown. Puck drops at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Scarlet and gray still hanging around Ross-Ade Stadium. Buckeye fans travel exceptionally well, and today no different. Not a long trip from Columbus to get to West Lafayette. Fielding to kick it away. Another touchback. Since the end of the first quarter, we talked about the plays and the scores, 34-0 since the end of the first quarter for Ohio State, but the plays, that's the difference right there, Jake.
You know, I know, and then, you know, for Barry Odom, it's like how you'll go back and watch the film, you want to evaluate your offense, and yet there's just not going to be much to evaluate. There's been just so few opportunities, and I like the way they started the game. It was a lot of quick passes. Ryan Brown was, you know, getting rid of the ball quick, a good mix of run and pass, and again, it's just this is why Ryan Day chooses to structure his team the way he has.
Brown to pass, gets it out quick, and then suffocated right at the point of attack. Peyton Pierce with the stop.
And I was just going to say there, I mean, this is really valuable for Ohio State. Peyton Pierce is a guy they're extremely high on. The only thing he's done wrong is he has to play behind Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, so he's not going to see the field, but they're excited about him. And some of these guys the Buckeyes are rotating in right now, they're going to have to count on at least a few of them to make another deep playoff run.
Handed off. Harris. Close to a first down. Might give him forward progress, and they will. So first down for Purdue.
And, you know, I would like to even say it again with Barry Odom. I understand the score. I understand there's going to be frustration, but I felt Purdue really did come out and play hard. They played with physicality. They didn't give hardly anything too easy for Ohio State.
Handed off again. Harris puts his head down and pushes forward for a gain of 8. It's a totally different brand of football that they're playing now. There's much more grit, much more heart and passion on that Purdue sideline.
Absolutely, and like that's something that's within your control. You can make that choice to practice that way, to prepare that way, and therefore to play like that on Saturdays, and all of a sudden you have a different identity. I completely agree with you there, Jeff. And how about the classroom too? He talked about having a 3.2 plus team average GPA.
Singleton will carry just his second carry of the ball game, picks up a first down. Pierce with another stop. Sooner or later, as a player, you want to see the results. You want to see it come in the fact of wins, and fans coming to the ball game and everything else. But you're building blocks right now. That's what Barry Odom's doing, and trying to retain some of the core guys that are here in the building right now moving forward. That's a big part of it.
And the results will take time. I mean, he told us, he's like, look, I did the first team meeting. I'm looking at 30 total guys, and not all of them were even on scholarship when he first gets here. It's a complete overhaul of staff. They bring in 50 new transfers, 80 total new players if you include the freshman class.
Singleton stays in, handed off. Harris again on the carry.
Right, I mean, Antonio Harris, a sophomore. Ryan Brown, a sophomore. Singleton, a sophomore. We've highlighted Nitro Tuggle is a sophomore. We've highlighted some of the guys on defense. Like they're getting good things on tape that they can therefore build off of. Winning, yes, that is the black and white, easy to measure progress. But make no mistake about it, when you watch the film, this is a different team that's improving and playing hard for their head coach.
Handed off again and pushes forward for a first down. What the Big Ten teams in the CFP have done so far today, Iowa and Oregon just about to get underway, if not underway. Ohio State, seeing what they're doing right in front of you. Indiana with a win. USC won last night. Well, that was an impressive performance last night against Northwestern. Washington, number 23 in the country, and Michigan with a bye this week.
Every one of those bottom 4 teams there's a path for them to make the playoffs, starting with that Iowa-Oregon game today, it is a Big Ten football game, nasty weather, November, playoff hopes on the line.
Get down to the stretch here with 3 weeks to go. This is when it starts to get fun. 2nd down and 11. Purdue does have to snap the football before the 2-minute warning. Singleton has stayed in this ball game. Handoff. Harris wrapped up and brought down. Take us to the 2-minute timeout in West Lafayette. And before we go to break, there was a flag that came in late. We'll check on that before we take our 2-minute timeout. Microphone malfunction. Can read some lips though. Personal foul, the face mask on Ohio State. So 15 extra yards at the end of the play. 2-minute timeout. 4th quarter, this one.
Slow start, better players, 30-point lead with 2 minutes to go. Pretty much going according to plan for Ohio State.
It certainly is. We'll see if Purdue can maybe get some points to close this thing out strong, but Ohio State, per usual, in a league of their own.
And the Buckeyes will remain #1 in the CFP rankings. I don't know that for sure, but I don't know how anything else could be true. Bigger question, where do the rest of the 2-loss teams wind up should they win? Like Jed Fish in Washington coming up next here against Wisconsin.
All right, thanks so much, fellas. 34-3. One of these is not like the other. What is that Michigan fan doing at a Purdue-Ohio State game?
I don't know.
Is that one of your buddies, Jake?
I don't think so. I don't.
Head of your security detail? It's a week off, so I guess he's just taking out the sights and sounds of Big Ten.
Getting ready for that matchup late November.
That's the next home game for the Maize and Blue. First and 10. Singleton to pass, dumps it off. That's Harris on the screen. Harris hit and out of bounds. A flag comes in late in the backfield. May tack on some yards. A pickup of 12. We'll see if it stands.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 14. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
It's Bo Atkinson, the transfer from North Carolina.
See, this is a really nice job, though, by Singleton. They're working a little scissor concept downfield, but, you know, with this Buckeye defense, you got to get the ball out quick, and it's a good job by Singleton getting it out to his running back, Antonio Harris, who took a big hit there downfield, but roughing the passer there on Bo Atkinson.
First down and goal. Set up shop in between the 7- and 8-yard line.
And it has been near impossible to score touchdowns down here against this Buckeye defense.
Only 8 successful trips out of 15. Singleton throws end zone. There's a score. Touchdown, Purdue. Jesse Watson, his 2nd career touchdown.
Oh, baby, and this is a beauty. A great route there by Jesse Watson. Watch him work. He's working against Leroy Roker on the corner route. Watch him get up here, dance. Whoop! Makes it miss. And, I mean, normally the Buckeye defense won't give you an inch. That time they had 5 or 10 yards of separation. I know it's the 2nd unit for Ohio State, but still, collect that one. Not many teams have been able to score down in the red zone, and a nice route there.
Just the 5th touchdown allowed in the red zone by Ohio State this year. And Purdue has put up 10 against Ohio State that only allows under 7 points a game. So Singleton and Ryan Brown at away. It's like 1 and 1A. They don't treat each other like starter or backup or anything. They both prepare like starters. They've got a great relationship. Still ahead, Damon Williams leads the Huskies into Camp Randall to face the Badgers. It's all coming up 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Just under half an hour away. So 1:45 to go. Turner set to kick it away for Purdue. Again, building blocks for Barry Odom.
Yeah.
Nice drive there. and you capitalize on a 1st and goal and cash in with a touchdown.
Yep, Singleton, an underclassman. Jesse Watson, the guy that ran that beautiful route. He's an underclassman, a redshirt freshman, clearly quick and speedy. We saw Jamar Harris at some point show up in the game, so we're just planting seeds at this point, planting seeds for the future.
Fair catch called for Innis. And we'll see Ohio State's offense on the field. 1:45 to go. Both teams with most of their timeouts. 2 for Purdue as Keenholz comes into the ball game. And Julian Sayin dapping up his teammates, saying, hey, great game, great game. Kept him clean for the most part. He throws for over 300 yards today. 27 out of 33 for 303 and a score.
Sayin is like the babyface assassin, man. He doesn't say much, doesn't have a hair on his chin, and yet he'll just come and dot you up, dime you up, and rip your heart out. Just another great Heisman-type performance for Sayin.
Silent assassin. Julian Sayin handed off up the middle.
How about what Ryan Day was telling us about Sayin, too, when he decides to come to Ohio State? Day's like, hey, man, listen. We've already spent all our NIL money. We can't give you any money. We can't guarantee you anything other than you'll have an opportunity to win the job. And Sayin's parents were like, wow, that's refreshing. We have not heard that from anybody. Yeah, we want to come here. And now he's being paid handsomely like a starting quarterback of Ohio State would. But, I mean, he chose this path with no guarantees, no promises, and now making the most of it.
He has had as close to a perfect game as you could. He did throw the interception in the red zone. It's about the only pass he wants to have back. Peoples on the carry, and he's dropped for a loss. Alex Sanford cutting through. And we're under a minute. Well, this Ohio State team, they are on a roll. They will go back home. 2 of the next 3 ball games, they've got UCLA on tap and then Rutgers before heading to the big house to finish out the regular season Thanksgiving weekend. One more snap, and that's going to do it for Keenholz and the rest of this Ohio State team. Peoples carries. Short of the first down, and the time will wind out, and Ohio State remains perfect. They will get to 9-0, and they have won 13 straight ball games.
Well, it's as dominant of a team as you'll find in college football. And as we started the game, you can ask the same question. Is this team better than the team that won the national championship last year? I mean, they're certainly in the conversation. And now Ryan Day, what did he tell us this week? He said, listen, all of our focus winning in the moment, but this team wants to get to Indy. They want a chance to compete for a conference title, and they played like it today.
Had the ball for nearly 40 minutes. Ryan Day is with Brooke Fletcher downstairs.
Coach, you guys really just dictated the pace of this game. What was clicking offensively that you saw just to be able to sustain those drives?
Well, I thought we stayed on schedule for the most part, but I thought really, we converted on 3rd down 9 of 12, and that really kept the drives going. Would have loved to seen us finish off a few more of those drives in a red zone, but I thought our guys played hard, and guys did come up with some big plays. Certainly the turnover was big in the first half, and then a couple of the throws down the field, certainly the touchdown to Jeremiah was special, and I thought, we did run the ball in the red zone well at times, so we'll look at the film and try to keep getting better.
You mentioned Jeremiah, a career high in receptions in a game from him. How do you continue to see his growth and just his chemistry come to life in this offense?
I think he understands it's a team sport, and I think, the first thing almost everybody does when they watch the film is say, we're going to take away number 4. And so he understands that part of it. Like, he understands when they're doubling him and then somebody else has to step up. Now, we didn't have Carnell today, and, look to get him back next week, but it was good to see some other guys step up when they had to.
Coach, thank you.
Okay, you got it.
5 catches from the former Purdue Boilermaker. Max Clare, he had 5 for 59, 10 and 137 for Jeremiah Smith and a score. Big win for Ohio State today on the road with 3 games to go for the #1 team in the country. For Jake Butt, Brooke Fletcher, and our entire crew here in West Lafayette, I'm Jeff Levering saying so long. Big Ten Live Game Break is coming up next.
Game 2 of our Saturday doubleheader here on